Because I'm Mike Tyson.
It would be the biggest moment in all of boxing history when I put this man to sleep.
Most likely the biggest live crowd, obviously, that you fought in front of. Did you ever think for this moment that it would be taking on Jake Paul?
Never in a million years. I never thought I would be fighting him.
You. Oh yeah, Mike? Well, you're going down. How was that?
That was scary.
Jake Paul or Mike Tyson?
Jake Paul.
Hell yeah, brother.
Roberto Duran, this is Mike Tyson wishing you a real quick recovery. I'm here signing autographs, and they told me you were supposed to be here and that you were sick. I love you and I wish you well, brother.
When we talk about the toughest boxers ever, one name that always pops up is Roberto Duran. Known as Manos de Piedra, or Hands of Stone, Duran wasn't just a fighter, he was a force of nature. With a career spanning over 5 decades, he fought 119 times professionally and won 70 of those fights by knockout. That's how fierce Duran was. His ruthless style, fierce power, and reputation as an all-around brawler made him a legend.
Tyson.
Doesn't matter what the question is, Jake Paul, the biggest clown within boxing. If Mike lets you survive on Saturday night, then Mike, I've got your next opponent here, Jake. Jake, it is Tony Bellew, Ariel. If Mike lets him survive on Saturday night, I've got a great grandfather, not a grandfather. This guy's got 2 hips.
Today, though, Duran isn't getting ready to enter the ring himself. Instead, he's giving his thoughts on an unusual but massively hyped fight, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. The idea of 2 boxers from completely different worlds facing each other is strange enough, but Duran has taken a particular interest in the fight. Duran's been watching, analyzing, and in his words, appreciating the brutal training Tyson's been putting in at age 58, and he's got a warning for Jake Paul. If Tyson doesn't tire out early, the Kid Dynamite of old just might put an end to Paul's night.
Oh, Jake, did you see Mike Tyson
dropping
his sparring partner?
I was talking about.
Yeah, I fucking saw it.
I was talking about.
No shit, I saw it, and I don't give a fuck. Sure, he's looking good. Sure, he's looking all of that. Oh, he's dropping people. He's fast. So the fuck am I. People want the.
Roberto Duran, now in his 70s, has seen it all in the boxing world. He debuted in 1968. And while Tyson's career didn't begin until 1985, Duran went on to outlast Tyson's career by several years. Duran retired in 2001 at the age of 50, while Tyson, after conquering the boxing world, retired 4 years later in 2005. But now, Tyson has decided to give it another shot, and Duran has been paying close attention. According to Duran, Tyson looks surprisingly powerful, even at nearly 60 years old. Duran has been especially impressed by Tyson's speed and strength in training clips. Tyson isn't just in shape for his age, he's a dangerous man. And if Jake Paul doesn't take him seriously, he could end up facing a very harsh reality in the ring. Duran has also been keeping an eye on Paul's technique, noting that the young YouTube star turned fighter has some talent. But to Duran, that talent won't be enough if Tyson gets the upper hand early.
Come out the winner and knock Jake Paul out?
Mike Tyson can knock him out, yeah, easily. if he get caught, you know what I'm saying? That's Mike Tyson. If he punch you, he gonna knock you out. I don't care if he's 78 years old. Can Jake win? Possibly. Who knows?
Duran's prediction for the fight is clear. If Tyson can take charge in the first few rounds, Jake Paul's hopes could be shattered. From Duran's point of view, the key to this fight will be whether Tyson can maintain his intensity in those early rounds. Tyson's age may affect his stamina, but Duran believes that if Tyson still has a solid first-round burst, it could be lights out for Paul.
Don't charge at me.
Why is Duran so convinced that Tyson can make such an impact? It comes down to one thing: power. Duran himself was known for the raw power he could generate from every punch, and he sees that same dangerous potential in Tyson, even at this age. If Tyson connects with just one clean shot, it could easily be the end of the fight.
I mean, I believe in Jake Paul try to hold Mike, but I don't think this happened because Mike is different, is a beast, and I don't know. I think Mike go win in the first round. That's
As Duran said in interviews, people may say he's older, but Tyson still has the hands of a monster. From the videos I've seen, he's still dangerous. If Jake lets his guard down even for a moment, Tyson will punish him. One of the things Duran respects most about Tyson is his dedication to training. For a man who retired almost 20 years ago, Tyson still seems dedicated, almost obsessed, with putting on a powerful display. In the training videos, Duran has noticed Tyson's characteristic intensity, something that hasn't changed even after decades out of the ring. What does this intensity mean for Jake Paul? According to Duran, it's a warning. Jake Paul has been known for his flashy, self-promotional style, and while it's gotten him attention, Duran believes that approach won't help him much against Tyson. In fact, it could work against him. To Duran, a boxer like Tyson can turn any mistake into a disaster for his opponent. That's how Duran himself fought throughout his career, waiting for the right moment to punish any slip-up, and Tyson, he believes, fights the same way.
If he's going to do them in the ring, I'm hoping that he'll do that. It's a task. You know, it's hard to box when you're that old, moving around the ring, throwing punches, getting punches thrown at you. But I think he can handle it.
For Duran, this kind of matchup isn't just about physical power. It's about mental discipline and knowing how to take control. And from what he's seen, Duran believes Tyson has the upper hand there too. He knows Tyson has a killer instinct, a hunger that Jake Paul, despite all his energy and youth, might not fully understand.
Against a guy that not as good as boxer as he is, and Mike Tyson knows how to throw a good punch, he knows how to break you down, so I'm more concerned about the other guy.
Of course, Duran acknowledges that Tyson's age could be a factor. At nearly 60, Tyson's stamina isn't what it used to be. Duran himself fought well into his later years, and he knows that no amount of training can fully reverse the effects of aging. If Tyson can't put Paul down early, he risks getting tired, which could give Jake Paul the chance to turn things around. Duran has been open about the fact that if Tyson runs out of gas, Jake Paul has a real opportunity. The YouTuber is 27 years old, has been training hard, and has fought younger, fresher opponents in recent years. While none of those opponents have had Tyson's experience, Paul has youth and energy on his side. And if the fight drags on, Duran believes that might give Paul a shot at a surprising win. In a way, it's the classic scenario of youth versus age. Can the younger fighter outlast the older warrior? Still, Duran's tone is cautious. He respects Paul's energy, but he knows Tyson's power too well to count him out. Duran admits that he sees a slim chance for Paul to win, but only if Tyson is unable to maintain his strength through those first critical rounds.
Your kids are out here, everyone's coming in to see you on Friday. What does it mean to have family with you?
Well, it's the family's everything. But my kids, to my children, I'm nobody. But that night they're gonna find out their father's very special.
Another interesting aspect of Duran's prediction is his appreciation for Tyson's legacy. To Duran, Mike Tyson isn't just another opponent for Jake Paul. He's a symbol of real boxing power, a man who once ruled the sport with an iron fist. Duran remembers the days when Tyson struck fear into the hearts of fighters everywhere, and he believes that part of Tyson's spirit is still there. The idea of Tyson facing someone like Jake Paul is strange, but for Duran, it's also an opportunity for Tyson to show that his legacy still lives on. For Paul, this fight is a chance to prove himself on a whole new level. He's been working hard to gain respect in the boxing community, but many fans and fighters still see him as an outsider. Duran recognizes that a win over Tyson could change that, but he also believes it would only be possible if Tyson loses his edge early on. Even with Paul's energy and dedication, Duran doesn't see him as a match for a fully energized Tyson. In Duran's words, Jake has worked hard, but this is Mike Tyson we're talking about. The man's a legend. Paul might win if Tyson runs out of steam, but that's the only way. If Tyson's still in it, then Paul's got a problem. Duran has watched Tyson train, he's seen what Paul can do, and he believes this will be a fight worth watching. But his final thoughts are clear. If Tyson lands his punches early on, Paul won't stand a chance. The Hands of Stone knows what it's like to take down younger fighters, and he sees Tyson as having that same opportunity here. For Duran, The real story isn't just who wins or loses, but what this fight means for both fighters. For Tyson, it's a chance to show that age hasn't taken away his power. For Paul, it's a test of his place in the boxing world.
Nice. Come on, punch him. Yeah.
In his mind, Duran sees Tyson taking the win. But if the fight goes on too long, Duran knows that Paul could turn the tables. It's a risky fight for both men, and Duran will be watching closely, ready to see whether Tyson's legendary power or Paul's youth will have the last word. There is no hate between Jake and Mike, no love, the gloves are big, and the rounds will be short when Mike Tyson and Jake Paul step into the ring. It's a curious matchup, this clash of a boxing icon and a social media sensation. Some people are calling it a freak show, while others are dismissing it as a cash grab. But whether it's respect or derision, everyone's watching, and that's exactly what both fighters are counting on. This isn't personal, it's business. And business, in this case, means big money, no strings attached. For Tyson, this is yet another page in his long, storied, and often chaotic career. At 58, the former heavyweight champion of the world is a shadow of his former self, though he's still fearsome in his way. Tyson may be a little softer around the edges, but he's still carrying the aura of the man who once ruled the ring. He's a legend, even if his punches might not have the same firepower they did decades ago.
Just a sec, all right? Okay, no problem. We'll get a quick word with Mike here in a moment.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, is a relatively new player in the boxing world, but he's already made waves by calling out former UFC stars and turning boxing into his own viral stage. The 27-year-old YouTube star, a former Disney actor turned controversial celebrity, has a style all his own. He's brash, cocky, and unfazed by criticism. Paul has faced plenty of backlash for his career choices, but that hasn't stopped him from piling up wins and making headlines. He may not be a traditional boxer, but he's smart enough to know how to play the game. Let's make one thing clear though. Tyson versus Paul isn't a classic rivalry. There's no deep-seated animosity here. There's no love lost, sure, but it's also not a battle born of hatred or revenge. This isn't Ali versus Frazier, or even Tyson versus Holyfield. This is a fight that was designed from the ground up to entertain, to generate buzz, and most importantly, to make money. The big gloves and short rounds, they're all part of the show. Tyson and Paul will be wearing 14-ounce gloves instead of the regulation 10-ounce, and their fight will go a maximum of 8 rounds, each lasting only 2 minutes. These are exhibition-style rules, the kind of concessions made to ensure that both fighters stay as safe as possible while still putting on a show.
People who are out there saying we think Mike's too old for this fight, tell them what you think about that.
If you think I'm too old for this fight, you need to come tell me in my face.
Whoa.
I love you, Mike.
What's really at stake here? Pride, perhaps, for both fighters, but the real prize is the payday. Rumors suggest that this fight could pull in a massive $50 million. For Tyson and Paul, that's a huge payday, especially for a night that, at its core, is little more than a carnival act in the world of professional boxing. Tyson's name still carries a tremendous amount of weight in the world of boxing. He's Iron Mike, the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and a man who could end a fight with a single punch. In his prime, Tyson was a force of nature. He dominated opponents, instilling fear with his speed, power, and relentless aggression.
And what would you lose if you lose this fight? Thank you.
I'm not gonna lose.
But you say that in the last minute of the second.
I am not gonna lose. Did you hear what I said?
Thank you.
But today's Tyson isn't the same man who once terrorized the heavyweight division. He's reformed, introspective, and by his own admission, far removed from the ferocious young fighter he once was. He's lived through highs and lows, success and scandal, redemption and remorse. And though his belly may have softened and his eyes lack the same deadly fire, there's still something magnetic about him stepping back into the ring. Tyson's last fight was an exhibition match against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. He looked slower, certainly, but there were still flashes of the old Tyson in his movement. He's no longer the whirlwind he was in his youth, but there's still something about him that makes people watch. It's the same charisma, the same hint of danger that draws a crowd.
Tyson's still a very good technical boxer. Tyson is also very good at protecting himself. Tyson can also catch angles. He might be 60, but if he gets you in the corner, he's a strong man, and he can put his gloves on your face.
Jake's just so much younger, man.
Yeah, and Jake hits hard.
And then we also forget Tyson fought Roy Jones, and that was a disaster.
Jake Paul is, in many ways, Tyson's opposite. He didn't grow up in the boxing gyms of Brooklyn, fighting his way out of poverty. Paul is a product of the digital age, a man who built his fame online and turned controversy into currency. He's been called an internet troll and a clown by critics who view his boxing career as a gimmick. But Paul has managed to shake off the haters and keep moving forward, winning fights, and proving that he's more than just a flash in the pan. His last big fight was against Tommy Fury in 2023, a matchup that surprised many. The two men fought an 8-round slugfest with Paul losing in a narrow decision.
Who wants to bet on it, huh? Does anyone want to bet on it? I'm shaking hands. So how much we want to bet on this? You said, Mike, how much you want to bet? He said.
But Paul took the loss with grace, accepting defeat without excuses. It was a show of humility that earned him a bit of respect, even from his harshest critics. And while he may not be a top-tier boxer, Paul is undeniably a contender in his own way. This matchup has been called a freak show, a meaningless event, and a threat to the dignity of boxing. Critics argue that pitting a 58-year-old Tyson against a 27-year-old internet celebrity is a gimmick that cheapens the sport. Tyson, after all, has a history of violence in the ring that's as infamous as it is legendary. This is the man who bit Evander Holyfield's ear, threatened to eat Lennox Lewis's children, and attempted to break Franz Botha's arm. Boxing purists see this fight as a circus act, a sensationalist event designed to sell tickets rather than elevate the sport. But as far as Tyson and Paul are concerned, the criticism doesn't matter. This fight isn't about legacy or honor, it's about entertainment. It's about giving the fans a spectacle and collecting a paycheck in the process. For Tyson and Paul, the only thing that matters is putting on a show, and that's exactly what they intend to do. One of the biggest concerns about this fight is the question of Tyson's health. At 58, he's far from his physical peak, and stepping into the ring against a much younger opponent is a risky proposition.
I don't like it at all. I love Mike Tyson to death, and we've been very close. Obviously, he's been like family forever. So I'm gonna support him on any decision, but I've said before, Mike Tyson has the heart of Mike Tyson, so he would fight Tyson Fury today if given the chance. Mike Tyson's.
But Tyson and his team have taken steps to mitigate the danger. The bigger gloves and shorter rounds are part of that strategy, designed to reduce the impact of each punch and give Tyson a better chance of avoiding serious injury. There's also the understanding that this fight could end early if necessary. If Tyson tires out, if he starts showing signs of fatigue, the fight can be stopped before things get too intense. In this way, Tyson is protected from the worst possible outcomes, ensuring that he won't face the same level of punishment he did in his prime.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract.
No problem. Saturday, July 20th. See you there.
And yet, there's always a chance that Tyson could surprise everyone. If he lands one of his famous punches, it could be a short night for Jake Paul. Tyson may not be as fast or as powerful as he once was, but he still knows how to throw a punch. And for Paul, that's a risk he'll have to take. This fight has an almost cinematic quality to it, the young upstart challenging the old king, the clash of new media and old school fame, the collision of youth and experience. In a way, it's the unmade Rocky movie, a battle that brings together two fighters with completely different backgrounds and motivations.
So this Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight was gonna be bad enough, but it just got a whole lot worse. Pretty much everybody already knows that Jake Paul is a lame, no good, worthless piece of shit. But now he's brought Tyson's dead daughter into this whole thing. And Tyson has been on a mission to try to be a better person and not let the more animal side of himself come out. But this is exactly where that shit all breaks down.
Because sometimes I feel like a bitch.
For Tyson, this is about legacy, about proving that he still has what it takes to step into the ring and face a younger opponent. For Paul, it's about validation, about proving that his success in the boxing ring is more than just hype. They're each fighting for something that goes beyond money, even though the money is undoubtedly part of the equation. At AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, a crowd of more than 60,000 will watch Tyson and Paul face off, with millions more tuning in on Netflix. For Tyson, this may very well be one of the last times he steps into the ring. He's given so much to the sport, enduring triumphs and tragedies, highs and lows, and now, at nearly 60, he's giving it one more go. The hope is that Tyson leaves the ring unscathed, that he comes away from this fight with his head held high. Paul, for his part, will be looking to make a statement. But win or lose, both men will leave the ring with something they value, whether it's money, pride, or simply the thrill of the fight. In an ideal world, this fight wouldn't be happening. But boxing is far from a perfect sport, and Tyson versus Paul is just another example of how strange and unpredictable it can be. So here we are, waiting for the bell to ring. Tyson and Paul, two men from different worlds, are about to collide in a fight that's both ridiculous and riveting. And when it's all over, the only thing that's certain is that they'll walk away. But who will go with the win? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.